Okay, as we close out this week in trade on this Friday morning, let's take a look at how the global handover is likely to impact our markets. The SGX Nifty was currently up around 35 points, along with the Kospi and Hang Seng, which are the few indexes in Asia that are currently in the green. Everything else is in the red. The Dow, S&P, Nasdaq yesterday had quite a muted session. They all gained. But a couple shocks to the system. Pfizer said they'll only be able to deliver 50% of the vaccines originally planned because of supply constraints. Also, the economy's added less jobs than expected at 440,000 versus 638,000 last month. However, one green shoot is that unemployment rate has still decreased to 6.7% from 6.9%. Unemployment benefits total 712,000 last week compared with 787 the week before. Futures in the Dow currently up 60 points. S&P futures were little changed, and Nasdaq futures traded 0.2% higher. Asia, like I said, all in the red. Only the Kospi, Hang Seng and the SGX Nifty currently are showing you an uptick. S&P ASX 200 in Australia had gained 0.2%, but it's flattened out. The Topix in Japan is slightly lower, and the Nikkei is down 0.23%. So Asia definitely a mixed bag this morning. Europe yesterday closed marginally above the flat line. Travel and leisure stocks gained 3.5%. Chemical shares, however, declined 1.1%. Britain's FTSE 100 index continues to outperform because they're going to be the first to get the vaccine. So that index has been on a tear, climbing again yesterday 0.4%. So that's how Europe is shaping up. A lot's been happening with the commodities. Now, oil, OPEC and non-OPEC allies have finally agreed after many days of discussion and deliberation to raise production by around 500,000 barrels per day beginning January. So what this will do is the total production cuts will be trimmed down to 7.2 million barrels per day. Brent crude futures, despite this, traded 1.4% higher at $48.92 per barrel because outlook has improved drastically since the vaccine has come to later stage fruition. And US WTI futures settled 36 cents or 0.8% higher at $45.64 per barrel. Now coming to gold, the dollar fell yesterday, so gold actually firmed. Every time the dollar slides, gold firms. Spot gained 0.4%, now sitting pretty at $1,838 per ounce. It earlier went higher at around $1,844 per ounce nearly, which is the highest we've seen in about 2-3 weeks. But then it cooled off again and settled at 1838. Futures are up 0.6% at 1841. So the outlook for precious metals also looking a little better. We have some stimulus coming in now. It's also a great hedge against inflation, and there's a lot of talk of inflation also creeping back into the economies which have been, printing mass money and giving a lot of stimulus. So let's see what happens. But for now, this was the global wrap as we close out this week in trade here in India.